Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I am going to be giving you my Pisces August 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, first thing up is, as far as August goes, the Sun will be in Leo from the 1st until the 23rd. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Pisces, this could be a very strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on health, service, employment, the daily routine, aunts, uncles even, work. This could be done, and it could even be pets as well. Now, given that this is Leo energy, this could be done with a lot of Leo-like ferocity, self-assuredness, confidence, fortitude, courage, generosity, and perhaps especially with aunts and uncles and maybe people you know in your daily routine. Very magnanimous energy as well, and also with a lot of pride and dignity. This is extravagant energy as well, so you might be spending more money on an aunt or an uncle at this time, maybe even on hygiene and matters related to your health and employment. Well, employment, if you're paying maybe for something that might be pertaining to your employment somehow. If you're, wearing something that, like some kind of knee brace that you had to get, for example, that the employer didn't provide, or getting some kind of coverage there, maybe that, that could apply perhaps. So anyway, and also done with a lot of Leo-like heart. So anyway, the next thing up is the Sun will be in Virgo as far as August goes from the 23rd until the 31st. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time for Pisces, this could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on relationships, others in general, a grandmother even, open adversaries, legalities, partnerships perhaps. This could be on negotiation and even legal opponents at this time. Now, and even the significant other as well, if applicable. Now, given that this is Virgo energy, this could be done with a lot of really scrutinizing energy, a lot of Virgo-like meticulous attention to detail, which of course Pisces is not exceptionally good at, but may be able to apply this in these matters. Very systematic manner, but also in a rather maybe a pensive and some perhaps worrisome manner as well. So just be careful at this time that you don't succumb to excessive worry over 7th house matters, and perhaps even done in a very scrupulous Virgo-like manner as well, and really really in a helpful way as well. And things that are done with others, perhaps especially collaborative efforts, could be done with a lot of Virgo-like helpfulness, but also guard against showing maybe too much judgmental and critical energy in these 7th house matters as well at this time, especially with others in general, the grandmother perhaps, and even the significant other if applicable. Anyway, the next thing up is there will be a partial solar eclipse in Leo on August 11th. So the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Pisces. This could be, when you're talking about a solar eclipse, it's like a new moon, but only it's more inflated and amplified and really it's stronger in its impact often. This could be where there could be life-altering effects in this, and really the impact can be more sustained. Now, given this could be a new Leo, like maybe employment at this time. It could be something connected with cardiology or sports, acting, movie production. It could be something that could maybe a CEO doing something with reality TV, something where you might be commanding some kind of attention and recognition. It could even be just making videos on YouTube. That might be some work if you're like a YouTube partner, maybe become like a YouTube partner, or doing something when you're generating income from your videos on YouTube, and incorporating maybe that in your daily routine, because that could be something that could be connected with getting notoriety. This could be And it could be something life-altering. This could be something that could have a very, really something you might do for a very sustained period. Also, perhaps it could simply be about incorporating more gregariousness and extroversion in the daily routine, and perhaps even with an aunt or uncle. This could be the rekindling of a connection with perhaps a Leo aunt or uncle, or one that simply embodies Leo-like characteristics, or it could be a Leo sun, moon, or Ascendant, and also showing a new period of showing more generosity and magnanimous energy connected with taking care. I'm sorry, with the connected of service to others, perhaps, and also, I mean, in some cases too, this could be a new Leo-like health problem, and especially if this does, if this makes an actual inconjunct to one's actual ascendant from that sixth house. I mean, it could be something connected with the upper back or something heart related. So anyway, the next thing up is there will be a full moon in Pisces on August 26th. So the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Pisces, well, this could be a time for Pisces where you may simply become tired, full, exasperated. Perhaps someone from your early childhood that might be somewhat deceptive, duplicitous, lethargic, indolent, overly passive, or indecisive. It could even be at this time where you might become tired, full, and exasperated at some of these qualities within yourself. Maybe yourself being somewhat indolent, overly passive, or lackadaisical, and maybe not taking action on things, being overly passive or indolent. And people sometimes may ask, well, I mean, how does it manifest when you're talking about a full moon? Which is like the culmination, could be the ending of something at the first house, and the first house is about new beginnings. Well, the way it could manifest is like in this case is where you could have a completion or culmination of, for example, some Pisces-like behavior. It could be, as I stated before, being overly indolent or lethargic, and maybe just stalling, procrastinating, being overly passive. And maybe it could be over that behavior within yourself. You become tired and full, so to speak. And what it does, it can actually spark a new beginning, which could be Pisces related, such as something with dancing, poetry, photography, doing something connected with the metaphysical, which could include astrology, could be chemistry, pharmaceutical work, something that could be really about maybe healing even, and that's really how that could manifest. And this could be when you're talking about sorry, we were talking about this energy. This could also be about an unveiling or revelation, maybe of something Pisces related with the physical body, especially if this is actually hitting the first house in the natal chart. It could be something with the feet, the toes, the lymphatic system, perhaps. And also doing, I mean, this is also about really a full really full Pisces-like energy going, maybe could be self-sacrificing, strong self-sacrificing, compassionate energy into someone you knew from your early childhood, or it could be something into maybe this full energy into like a new beginning, perhaps, and really these are some things that the way this could manifest, perhaps, and really emphasizing strong Pisces qualities as well at this time, and really this people will take notice of this on a first impression. So anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo. It will be retrograde from the 1st to like the 19th, and the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Pisces. This could be about a time during that retrograde period where you could be reviewing gregariousness and extroversion, perhaps in your daily routine in general with an aunt or uncle, perhaps. Be careful not to overly dominate conversations with people at work, people in your health life, an aunt or uncle, people in your daily routine at this time. And also, too, remember that that Mercury can be more than just about communication. It can be about siblings as well. Could be about the way this could manifest is that Leo siblings, Leo sun, moon, ascendant siblings, or ones that embody Leo-like characteristics, can figure more prominently in one's daily routine, one's health, life, and employment, and also about a lot of generous thinking regarding pets at this time, and really in things that are sixth house related, such as your health at this time, and perhaps matters pertaining to your employment as well. So anyway, the next thing up is Venus will be in Virgo as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 7th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Pisces. Well, this could be a time where you might be spending more frugally on a significant other at this time, or grandmother perhaps. If you are at this time, if you, let's say if you don't if you are unattached, Pisces, you might connect with a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. It could be at some place that is law-related. It could be something connected with a court. It could be maybe with a paralegal or some attorney, or maybe somebody connected in arbitration or some negotiation. This could also be a time, too, where you might come into some money for some lawsuit. It could be a very, being Virgo energy, a very precise amount, with that change in it, or it could be a very, and not maybe a very extravagant amount, because Virgo can be frugal energy, of course. Now, this also could be a time where you might value health, fitness, nutrition, and exercise with a significant other. It could be with the grandmother, even in some cases. It could be with others in general, and an enjoyment of collaborating on health-related things, just in general, with others. And also it could be, the way this could manifest as well, is could be coming into some money connected with a partnership, maybe something you didn't expect. If you're in a business partnership, I mean, you're always coming into money anyway, but the fact you're talking about Venus, the planet connected with money, that could be a time where it could indicate you might come into a little bit more maybe than you anticipated. So anyway, well, the next thing up is, as far as August goes, Venus will be in Libra from the 6th to the 31st, and the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time for Pisces. If you are unattached, you might connect with a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, which maybe that could be very beneficial, perhaps for emotional and moral support. It could be something that you might actually want a deep connection, a very strong sexual and deep connection with. It could be a Libra sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Libra-like characteristics. This could manifest as well, perhaps in balanced spending on sexual matters. It could be taxes, insurance, 8th house matters in general, and also about the giving of value, of giving equal give and take in emotional and moral support. And this could be a time too where you're really, I mean, if you're in like some kind of shared resources situation, that you're looking at really valuing being very fair and equitable in these matters. And it could be about coming into a fair amount of money from an inheritance at this time. That is also possible. And also valuing diplomacy, refinement, harmony, peace with a sexual partner or someone you're in an intimate relationship with. Anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius as far as August goes, from the 1st to like the 13th. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time for Pisces, this could be a time where you might become rather angry at perhaps some idiosyncratic, bizarre, unusual behavior. Perhaps from at this time, it could be from somebody in your, it could be someone in your private life. At this time, someone that is prominent in your private life at this time. It could be an aunt or an uncle, perhaps. As well, This could be really some unusual or bizarre private battles, or ones that have these spontaneous, really unpredictable outbursts of energy. But also, maybe this could manifest perhaps in going back to injecting energy into something Aquarius-like, in solitude and seclusion. And it could be something connected with computers, electronics, innovation, astrology, aerospace, or astronomy even. And really, and also too, putting a lot of energy and vitality into selfless, really into helping those less fortunate than yourself, with a lot of selfless and humanitarian energy. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mars will be in Capricorn as far as August goes. From the 13th until the 31st, it will be retrograde from the 13th until the 28th, and the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this could be a time where the situation with friends, acquaintances might be more contentious and acrimonious than usual. There might be arguments with these people about matters connected with business, government, politics, but also about a lot of discipline, consistent energy in group-related matters, or if you're in some club or organization at this time. And also, looking at this as well, I mean, this is about really, when you're talking about Mars in the 11th house, again, that could indicate the contentious situations with friends, acquaintances. It could be with people that you know in groups or clubs, and also even with stepchildren at this time as well. And and really using like energy, really doing things that are very conventional, and really very regimented as well in 11th house matters, and putting a lot of that consistent Capricorn-like energy maybe into your future, and very premeditative and planning like energy as well. It could be you might be going back to doing that because it's going to be retrograde for most of the period. So anyway. Well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio still, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. As I've talked about previously, Jupiter can be paradoxical. It can be very benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. This could perhaps enlarge and expand surreptitious, nefarious, even manipulative behavior from in-laws, from grandchildren. It could be foreigners. It could be a period too where you might have a strong transformation, and could be it could be fortuitous for a transformation of your philosophies and going beyond the superficial and subterfuge with in-laws, with grandchildren, maybe people you might know at a religious congregation. It could be about also manifest perhaps luck and fortune in unveiling secrets about false doctrines, and also perhaps showing exuberance and enthusiasm perhaps in Scorpio, like related higher education courses. It could be something connected with astrology, embalming, locksmithing, some kind of investigation, forensics, something Scorpio related. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Saturn will be in Capricorn still. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted, will be retrograde. At this time, you might be experiencing some restrictions, limitations with friends, acquaintances, group-related matters. It could be causing you to feel somewhat despondent or melancholy. There might be some limitations and restrictions connected with your goals and aspirations at this time. At this time as well, you might be taking care of a debilitated or sickly stepchild, a friend or acquaintance. It could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and this could be making you feel somewhat dejected at this time. Another way this can manifest, though, is it could be about working laboriously, maybe something government related. So, and this is really something that could be tied into an aspiration or a goal, and maybe you're doing this in some kind of group related thing or in some organization. and also about attaining structure and discipline in one's goals. Remember, when you're talking about retrograde energy, though, what happens is it could actually, the way it can manifest is where one may not be overly cognizant of their limitations and restrictions, and there is a chance of working too laboriously to the point where of overexertion, where you might be taking on too much responsibilities that are connected with the 11th house, such as something with your aspirations and goals, maybe with friends and acquaintances that you may know, even stepchildren if applicable. So also this could be about serious review, perhaps maybe of some of your 11th house restrictions at this time. So anyway, well, sorry about that, people. Anyway, Uranus will still be in Taurus, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, for Pisces, well, this could be about dealing with perhaps some unusual, persistent, stubborn siblings or cousins at this time, even neighbors. These could be where you might be getting some ideas very extemporaneously and spontaneously. These could be very new, ideas just come right up out of the spur of the spur of the moment, maybe. And also about the formulation, perhaps, of new financial ideas that maybe you somehow came up with, maybe with siblings, perhaps with neighbors, perhaps with cousins, might be people that you know in your short journeys, perhaps. And this could be, and it could be maybe those financial ideas might be somehow tied in to communication, and maybe trying to find new ways to make money through some kind of communication and through writings or what have you. And also too, you might be at this time maybe talking more, communicating more about Uranus-like things such as astrology, aerospace, astronomy, the future in general, innovative ideas. This could be also too that Taurus friendships, or ones that simply embody Taurus-like characteristics at this time, might figure more prominently in your communications. They could be it figures strongly more in your short journeys, and maybe even matters with siblings and cousins at this time. And also too, this might be about some unpredictable behavior, perhaps maybe through maybe with someone you knew from your early education, or maybe somebody that you knew from there just kind of pops up out of nowhere, out of the blue, very spontaneously. Anyway, next thing up is, well, Neptune will still be in Pisces, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this could be a time where you might feel, perhaps your vitality may be dissipating, dissolving a little bit, especially if this is actually your first house in your natal chart. Even if it hits the sun, if this is actually hitting your moon, this could be more about it really where your emotional energy might feel like it's dissipating and dissolving a little bit, where you may be more emotionally drained at this time. At this time, you should guard against maybe being more deceptive or duplicitous than usual at this time. And also maybe someone from your early childhood may be somewhat nebulous or unclear, and even maybe new beginnings may be this way as well. And you might really not be very unsure how to make a first impression on someone. And remember that Neptune is chemicals as well, so be careful at this time and guard against excessive alcohol use, recreational drug use. And you're not supposed to be using recreational drugs, at least in most places, I don't think anyway, but you understand what I'm saying. And also at this time, this could be a time where someone from your early childhood might be acting more duplicitous and deceptive than usual. This could be a time too for Neptune new beginnings. It could be something connected with poetry, photography, chemistry, pharmaceutical work, something dancing even, maybe some kind of work, maybe with the toes or the feet, and really being very idealistic regarding these new beginnings, but just guard against becoming overly unrealistic at this time regarding them. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Pluto will still be in Capricorn, so the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, I know a lot of you don't want me to say this, but I'm going to talk about, the dreaded D word, death. In some cases, this could reflect an actual literal death of a stepchild, a friend, or an acquaintance. It could be somebody that you knew well in some group, club, or organization. And also, it could be an obliteration or destruction of goals and aspirations. But remember, when Pluto destroys things, it can often supplant. Pluto is about rebirth and regeneration. So just because something might go away, it doesn't mean you can't. Something can't supplant it at a later point in time. Also, avoid perhaps obsessive compulsive behavior at this time in matters with friends, with acquaintances. There could be power struggles with those people, and avoid manipulative behavior and perhaps in order to attain your goals and aspirations. This could also be a period where you might have very strong power over your future. I would say what could help this is a lot of this could depend on the transits this makes to points in your natal chart. A sextile or trine to your natal Uranus could actually help this, of course. Also, dealing with upheavals in your goals and aspirations, and this could manifest in dealing with crisis situations with friends at this time and acquaintances. So anyway, next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo still, so the 6th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. The one way this could manifest perhaps is when you're talking about the North Node in transit. This could be about issues that one may have to address or confront. This could be perhaps about having to confront an arrogant, dominant, overly domineering, bombastic, overbearing, flamboyant. Could be an aunt, an uncle, or somebody that is in your daily routine, your place of employment, perhaps. This could also manifest perhaps in wanting more recognition and attention, being lauded and praised for work-related achievements, and also perhaps showing more generosity and magnanimous energy in your daily routine in general, and showing more extroversion and gregariousness in that as well. Being more generous perhaps toward pets if you do have them, and also you might be directed toward really at this time for just being really showing maybe more courage and more fortitude in your daily routine, and maybe in matters connected with your employment, and maybe people prominent in your health life as well. And also, too, in some cases, you might be directed toward perhaps taking care of a Leo-like health issue. It could be something connected with the heart or the upper back, perhaps. So anyway, next thing up is the Black Moon Lilith will be in Capricorn as far as August goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. When you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith, this could be about perhaps the revelation or unveiling of a formidable Capricorn adversary. It could be a Capricorn Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Capricorn-like characteristics. It could be a friend, an acquaintance that might turn on you. This could be someone you know at some group, club, or organization. Anyway, and another thing, too, about the Black Moon Lilith, this could also be about what could put one in a strong state of fright or trepidation. And this could be about maybe simply, it could be about relinquishing some authority, perhaps over perhaps a stepchild, maybe a friend in some cases, and maybe perhaps about simply pursuing goals and aspirations very consistently. And in that very regimented, consistent-like manner. So anyway, also too, Another thing about the Black Moon Lilith, this could also be about something that comes out of the bag, so to speak, that you didn't want to come out, but it does come out anyway. And what could happen is this could be where perhaps maybe a very depressing or limiting or restricting friend life, I guess you could say, situation with friends maybe comes out at this time, maybe where you're very, I guess you could say, limited in friendships, for as an example, where that is exposed at this time. Or maybe there's something very depressing about your future that you feel, and it's causing despondency, and you don't want that to come out, or maybe feeling overly melancholy might affect maybe your future, or maybe pursuing goals and aspirations, but you didn't want it to come out, but maybe it does. Next thing up, the Black Moon, excuse me a second, people. Anyway, next thing up, the Black Moon Lilith will be in Aquarius as far as August goes, from the 6th until the 31st. So the 12th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, first thing is, this could be a revelation of a rather formidable Aquarius adversary. It could be an Aquarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. This could be somebody that was in secret, really in secrecy for a while, given we're talking about the 12th house. This could also be someone that was prominent in your private life. Maybe somebody that you might have had a clandestine affair with. This could be another thing about Black Moon Lilith. Again, it could be about what could put one in a strong state of fright or trepidation. And this could be maybe losing, maybe having an overly conventional or orthodox private life. Perhaps could be one thing, losing maybe your freedom, your independence, and what you want to do in solitude and seclusion. I mean, Pisces could be very strong about that anyway, about their isolation. Even if you're doing something unusual in solitude and seclusion, you don't want to lose that ability, perhaps at this time. This could also be a time, too. I mean, the thing about this is that where something can come out of the bag, so to speak, that you didn't want to come out of the bag, but it does anyway. And this could be perhaps something where in some isolated cases it could be some bizarre, unusual mental illness might come out. It could be an unusual, bizarre limitation you may have at this time that may come out of the bag. It could be maybe some kind of clandestine affair that you might have had, maybe with an Aquarius Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or one that simply embodies Aquarius-like characteristics. Something behind the scenes that was rather unconventional that might come out. So anyway, next thing up, last but not least, Chiron will be in Aries still, and the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could manifest perhaps in perhaps dealing maybe with acrimonious, contentious situations regarding your possessions and resources. There might have been some even combative situations with others about it, whether, for example, maybe you claiming they're yours and somebody is saying they're theirs. It could be contentious situations, perhaps with somebody at the place where you generate money. It could be over monetary matters in general, maybe perhaps not capitalizing on monetary opportunities. This could be where emotional wounds can come into play, and maybe lack of aggressiveness and assertiveness in those areas. Maybe it could be something where, maybe some angry situation or acrimonious situation might affect your self-worth and self-esteem at this time, or something that made you, maybe it's like somebody had stated something to you that caused you to become angry and made you question your own self-worth and your self-esteem. Maybe lack of ability, for example, to be confrontational in certain matters, or being overly passive may have caused that, as an example. And also too, remember that that Chiron and Aries can be about feelings of unworthiness. And given that, I mean, this could be maybe where you don't feel like, maybe you feel unworthy in terms of maybe at finding that place where you can generate income or make money. Maybe you feel in some cases this could be where you're not making that much money and it's causing you to feel feeling unworthy. Perhaps it could be somebody at the place you generate money at could be making you feel have feelings of unworthiness. And so those are some ways that this could manifest perhaps. But remember too that Chiron is the wounded healer. So in ways that you may be going through some sorrow, emotional wounds, and difficulties with Chiron and Aries in the second house, you may be able to actually help others deal with comparable situations and do so with a lot of areas like courage, fortitude, enterprise, initiative, and assertiveness. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Pisces August 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'm going to be starting a new series. It's going to be on the zodiac signs at 29 degrees. The first one's going to be Aries 29 degrees, followed by Taurus at 29 degrees, etc. So I go through all 12 zodiac signs. Anyway, people, two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.